The question is, why? It's important to know first what guidance is. Our Creator, the Almighty, has a plan for this life, for all of us, all humans, Muslims, non-Muslims alike. Guidance is an individual's clear understanding of that plan. A, him or her getting convinced that that plan is indeed the Almighty's plan. B, and the individual's inclination, motivation, that I've got to achieve that plan. C, that's what guidance is. Therefore, you can see how important guidance is. Therefore, the Almighty has decided that while in the case of all other blessings of life, there is no real criterion. There could be some, but it isn't that you get what you deserve to get, or others are not getting because they don't deserve it. There's only one underlying, overarching principle, and that is trial, test. It's only one blessing, and one and the only, which the Almighty has decided that He is going to confer upon humans on the basis of merit and pure merit. And why? Because your wealth, your health, your context, your intelligence, they are all going to go. They will come to nothing. They're just here for a few days, a few years, and it's going to be all finished, gone. But there's only one thing which, if you have with you and you led your life on the basis of it, it's going to enable you to have a lasting life of success. So, God is not very keen as to whether a certain pious person must get wealthy or not. It doesn't matter really. It's just a trial, one way or the other. But when it comes to the question of guidance, He's made it a point. He will not give it to anyone except the one who deserves it. So the all-important question is, how is the Almighty going to decide as to whether a certain person deserves it or not? There are some people who have this understanding that God is going to decide it without any criteria, on his own whims. He's a king, he's a master, he has control over everything. So how can anybody interfere in his decisions? He decides what he wants to. Well, okay, but the fact is that he is wise, he's fair. He doesn't decide anything for no reason. So the all-important decision regarding guidance is taken by the Almighty on the basis of His perfect wisdom, knowledge, principle of justice and fair play. So again the question is, how does He decide? In order for us to be able to understand how the Almighty comes to His important decision, we ought to know a few important features of our life, worldly life, of trial. We already know them, but it's always important to know them clearly in order for us to be able to understand how the Almighty decides. One important aspect of the trial of this life is that we all humans are free in some part of our lives, free to choose, independent. You might be forced to listen to something, but it's your choice to decide from inside you don't like it. You are allowed to go one way or the other in many aspects, many areas of your life. So, whether it's more or less, every human being, even slaves, they had choices, freedom that they exercised. And you know what? It's this freedom on the basis of which we are accountable to the Almighty. I mean, how can you be accountable for something you've not decided yourself? I'm not going to ask for why I was born to a certain family on a certain day in a certain place. That was not my choice. But honest to God, every day I take many decisions which I take on my own volition. And I am to be blamed for them. I should be praised for them because they're my decisions. One. The other important feature of our life is that we all, Muslims or non-Muslims, we all know what is morally correct and what is morally despicable. Okay, we do get sometimes confused in certain matters, but by and large, everybody knows that telling the truth is good, desirable, and telling lies is despicable, loathsome, unacceptable, and so on. It's a long list of do's and don'ts. Surprisingly, there's a long list of do's and don'ts which the entire humanity shares, no matter where you are born, no matter which religion you belong to, no matter what part in human history you came to this world. This is what God has chosen for every human to know. So that's the second important feature of this life which we must know in order to understand how God decides about the question of guidance or misguidance. And the third important feature is that although we know that what is right is good and desirable, and what is wrong is evil and bad and undesirable, yet in order for this life to be a trial, the Almighty has decided, well, He has designed this life in a way, what is evil is, you know what, attractive. It just makes us inclined towards it. And what is good is demanding. Allow me to say sometimes boring. It just tests you. So it so happens that we exercise our freedom knowing full well that what is evil, and yet we do evil because of its immediate rewards, gratification. And we stay away from doing what is right because of the sacrifices it demands from us. And so the journey of life, unfolds itself, and I tell lies or I speak the truth, depending upon the way I exercise my choices. And nobody pushes me. Let me tell you, not even God pushes me. He allows, we know all, God allows people to kill others. He doesn't stop them. Sometimes the decision gets practically implemented, actualized. On other occasions it doesn't. But the fact of the matter is that we are making choices, horrible choices, and brilliant choices. And that's how things keep going. Now, in comes the message of God. The Almighty, Allah Almighty, we all know He chose to select His representatives, prophets, Anbiya, and messengers, Rusul, who delivered His message to the people. Some believed, some didn't believe. Well, in our case, in most of the cases, we were born Muslims. Some were interested, others were not, and so on. So what happens? Is it that it's a matter of taste, that some people like one dish and others like another? Some people fancy one color to be more attractive, others like other colors. So some people choose to be religious and others not. No, it's not that. I mean, guidance is a serious matter because its outcome is going to be unending, everlasting. How would it have been taken without any proper consideration by the Almighty? So point is that when God's prophets, messengers came to this world, they were the best of the humans. So their moral performance would impress everybody. They would deliver a message which would make huge sense. I mean, this life is a puzzle. It's a mystery. It is asking important questions. Who has made us? Why did he make us? Why do we have this understanding of right and wrong? Why are there differences? Why do people die? What's going to happen after death? God has chosen that he is going to answer those questions. And that's exactly what he does. He did. Through his prophets, through his messengers. Delivered to everyone. Some accepted, others didn't. And the Quran tells us, and the Quran is absolutely clear, that those who accepted it wasn't accidental. They were good people who used their all-important freedom to choose right from wrong in their lives, and as a result became eligible to the guidance brought by the prophets. And those who chose evil because of the glamour and attractiveness of evil, they were deprived of God's guidance. How? Well, the Quran tells us it so happened that when God's message used to be conveyed to the people, there were some who would be naturally inclined and interested. And there were others who would be repelled. As I said, not accidentally, but because in their own respective personal lives, they have been making choices and identifying themselves either good or evil. And who knows about it? Only Allah Almighty God, because he knows everything that I'm doing, apparently and inside, in the hiding, in my private life. So he decides who is going to be a believer, true, proper, and who not. I'll just give you one example of one verse, a very important verse, and thankfully very easy to remember its reference. Surah number 10, verse 100. Surah Yunus, verse 100. The Almighty says, Ma kana li nafsin an tumina. It's not possible for a human to believe, illa biiznillah, except by the leave, by the decision of Allah. It's not possible for a human to believe doesn't really mean the belief that we get through the accident of birth by being born to a Muslim mother. But that's God's decision of a trial. Some people he chose to cause them to be born to one family, some to other. That's not belief. That's just tradition. Belief, as I said earlier, is actually guidance, which really means that you have understood the Almighty's plan for this life and you're convinced you know it's right. And then you're motivated to lead your life accordingly. So the Almighty says, Ma kana li nafsin an tu'mina. It's not possible for for an individual to believe. It's not possible that he believes, illa biiznillah, except by the permission, leave of the Almighty. And the second part of the verse says, وَيَجْعَلُ الرِّجْسَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ. And he causes filth to be drawn upon those who don't use their intellect. What filth? The filth of cheating, lying, causing harm to others, obsessive love of wealth, arrogance. These are filth, These are different manifestations of dirt, moral filth. So if a person is morally filthy, then what happens is that the Almighty covers him with that filth. And the light of faith, the light of guidance doesn't go to him. It cannot pierce that, obstacle of bad deeds, of evil deeds. So whether you believe or get guided, I'm talking about the proper, genuine belief. not the accidental belief by birth. Whether you genuinely believe or not, if you look at it, it's your own doing or undoing. God only implements what he can see, and only he can see as to who deserves it or who doesn't deserve it. And people don't believe because they choose not to believe. Allow me to say because they're not interested, and they're not interested because they have shown interest in evil and filth, which doesn't allow them to come close to belief and guidance. And therefore the Almighty is telling the Prophet ﷺ that, okay, don't worry about it. It is not your domain. You keep telling people what the truth is. You keep guiding people. Or you can't guide whom you will. Had it been the discretion of the Prophet, may Allah's mercy be on him, may God shower his mercies on him, he would have decided to give everyone guidance because he was merciful, considerate, accommodating, sensitive. But the Almighty is fair and wise and completely knowledgeable. So therefore he decided that he is going to cause this trial of this life to be an absolutely genuine trial. Those who will pass on the basis of merit. Those who will not will fail on the basis of merit. No one has any discretion. You have discretion because you can choose to do what you want to. You have this freedom. I must admit that this brief presentation does raise many questions. I just raised two questions without answering them because there's no time available now. And I want you to think about it. But there are two serious questions which come to one's mind when one listens to a discourse like this on the Quran. A, if what you are saying is correct, then why is it that we see that there are some genuinely good human beings, very good people, but they don't apparently get guided, right? We do wonder. And why is it that there are some people who we know are evil people? I mean, we know every day they tell lies, they cheat, but apparently they are religious people, so seemingly guided. So if what I've presented is what the Almighty is saying in the Quran, and I can tell you that's exactly what he's saying, then how can we answer these two questions? Well, my submission is that not every question needs to be answered immediately. Let's keep thinking about them, and that's what Allah Almighty wants all of us to do. Reflect, ponder, use our intellect, and make an earnest, genuine effort to know what the truth is. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his message is all truth. However, its truth has to be understood in the light of what we know from the text and through deep pondering and reflection on the matters that we experience. May the Almighty enable all of us to be guided to the right path. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شر أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد قال الله تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما اللهم انصر من نصر دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم واجعلنا منهم واخذل من خذل دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تجعلنا معهم اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه عباد الله رحمكم الله اتقوا الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأولى وأهم وأتم وأكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
استووا الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا الله أكبر سبحان ربي العظيم سبحان ربي سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة